I really love the personal attention that you get. I think it's really cool how they genuinely want you to succeed in a way that teachers who have maybe like 30 students sort of don't, because they've got 30 of you and they can't really care about everyone. I do like the way that the teaching is also sort of consistent and tailored to you. Again, it's nice because there's only like one or two of you. I do definitely prefer learning in groups personally, and I feel like the tutorial system is maybe not as good for that. Because it doesn't really encourage you to study in groups outside of tutorials. You're all doing different subjects, so you can't really collaborate for studying, and that's sort of awkward. But all in all, I'd say it's a great system. I mean, it obviously depends on what tutor you get, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't have to. I like to look down on the floor.
That's fine.
I actually enjoyed it because my experience I could record is of me being with my colleague and the facilitator, or sometimes the lecturer. It is actually it's three different dimensions. So I can hear my voices, and sometimes you can only hear your own voices when you actually say some ideas or tell people what you think about. And actually from that I think deeper, I think further. And another aspect is that when I hear other people sharing their views, and also I think that is the motivation for me to go to a class, because I then can hear what other people talk about and think about an issue, and how people will present the topic or will engage work in a certain direction and perspective. And the third thing, of course, is the facilitator and the lecturer. Often it's a major input, and also the material that they brought with them. So I think it's these three elements. I can hear my own voice, I can hear how people take in ideas and the way they shape ideas, and also the facilitator.
Alright, so I guess the biggest benefit of small group teaching, I'd say, is that unlike lectures where teaching is a one-way process, there's an element of feedback involved as well. So the students who are engaged in the learning process can, in the first 20 minutes, absorb the material that is taught to them, and then provide feedback so that the lecturer, or the teacher in this case, has a better idea of what the demands of the class are in the second half, or in the latter period of the class as well. So teaching is better informed as a result.
Great. Have you got any negative experiences? Any of the drawbacks maybe?
I don't think there's. I guess the only possible drawbacks are in the case when there's a very big disparity within the students in the small class. So if you have very capable students and you have very weak students, then the capable ones might tend to be pulled down if the weaker students, continuously voice their opinions and they don't understand certain ideas. So there can be an element of dumbing down and the stronger students not being able to excel to the level that they could. So that's one possibility, I guess.
Great.
This is pretty good. All in all, I think it's fantastic that you get to teach, in such close proximity to sort of experts in their field. Very rare opportunity. I've liked it throughout. I think one of the sort of, not necessarily flaws, but inconsistencies is that when it comes to examinations, that whole aspect of the teaching, which is so emphasised throughout, is kind of ignored. There's no kind of, for many subjects, especially art subjects, there's no sort of vibe or anything. So a lot of the skills you develop in tutorials, sort of discussing ideas, aren't really then examined at the end of it. So.
Yeah, I really like the kind of close attention they pay to your essays. So every time you get one back, I always find after the sheets you've got a really clear idea of where you want to go for your revision for your exams and where to take the essay next, which that's what I like about it. Yeah.
Great.
Experience with small class size. Obviously Oxford is a very busy place, so sometimes people won't be able to turn up in a class. So there are times there's only like, say, 2-3 people turn up, and the facilitator brought with them piles of materials. And then in those times, people may tend to kind of, or every time you go to a class, it tends to be just the 2-3 people, and you tend to hear the same voices, and that gets boring. So I think when you're talking about small class size, you've got to have, at least a good turn up, say 10-12 people, then you get a variety of ideas and views exchanged, and so on. Yeah. So that's something to do with the facilitator. It's not my challenge, but their challenge, really.